Bill Gelman from Play NJ here for the 4th episode of Atlantic City Boardwalk Talk.
I'm David Danzis, lead writer of Play NJ. We've got a great episode for you lined up this week. We've got Joe Lupo, president of Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Atlantic City. He's going to tell you a little bit about what Atlantic City looks like now in this sort of post-pandemic recovery period. And then we're also going to talk to Mike Woodside, who's the vice president of entertainment here at Hard Rock. And he's going to tell us all about all of the great shows that are coming here and sort of the return of live entertainment, why that's important to Atlantic City and Hard Rock. But before we get into those interviews, Bill, we've got revenue numbers to talk about. And we're going to start with the one that really surprised both you and I, and that's online casino. Tell me what May was like for online casino here in New Jersey.
It was actually pretty surprising. We thought maybe because capacity limits were lifted in Atlantic City, that the pent-up demand more people would come to land-based casinos. But second highest number all time of a little over $108 million, which brought the yearly total over $500 million. Mm-hmm. We're talking less than a half year over $500 million. And fourth time this year where the number actually crossed the $100 million mark. So it's not slowing down at all.
Yeah, which is really surprising for guys like you and I who kind of pay attention to this stuff, right? Because you see that ebb when the weather starts to warm up. I mean, even when New Jersey wasn't doing $100 million months, come May, June, July, August, you notice there was less online activity, right? And it stands to reason why, right? But we didn't see that this year. So both you and I, we took the under on $100 million. You might have said it might have been right around there. I thought it was going to be firmly below 100. I was wrong. I'll own that one.
Yeah, I said it was, I was thinking it was going to be under the 113 million record, but I didn't know how far off. So it was a little surprising as to how high it ended up. And
now, speaking of numbers that ended up really high, there was another number that really surprised you and I, and we were both way off on this one.
Right.
The monthly sports betting handle, which is the amount wagered, 814 million.
You gypped them a few there.
Yeah, I undersold it a little bit there. $814 million was wagered on sports in New Jersey in May. I got to tell you, I did not see that coming.
No, that's a football number.
Exactly. That's a December, January, leading into the Super Bowl in February. That's when you expect to see that number.
Right.
You and I talked a little bit about what contributed to that number in April. I think both you and I underestimated how popular NBA basketball really is in New Jersey.
Yeah, and I think because, which we touched on previous episodes, you have the three most popular teams in the market, the Knicks, Sixers, and Nets, all in the playoffs. We won't go into a tangent about the Sixers because we don't have enough time, but it's a lot of, from talking to the sportsbook operators, they've been getting a lot of action on the Knicks, Nets, and Sixers, especially here at the retail books.
Yep. And, on top of that, we've also had other events. I mean, you've got international soccer. There's a huge tournament going on. We have a golf tournament that's going on now, but, even last month, there was a major tournament, which doesn't always happen in May, right? I mean, we've never seen a major golf tournament in May. Sports betting doesn't show any signs of slowing down, particularly online and mobile sports betting, where we're still seeing better than 90% of the handle is happening from somebody's electronic device.
And here's what's going to be interesting about the rest of the year. We're hitting over 800 million in a non-NFL month. Mm-hmm. And then you have all these other operators that are looking to enter the market before football season. We don't know the exact dates, but I would be surprised if we don't see another 5 or 6 new operators join the market before the Super Bowl.
Now, as we've seen, at least when it comes to the land-based market, adding additional operators doesn't necessarily mean the number is going to grow. You could end up, cutting up that pie a little smaller, a little smaller slices for the existing folks. So don't want to confuse people and say just because there's going to be 5 or 6 more books that the number is going to get bigger. That's not necessarily a direct correlation. But there are going to be more options for people. And let's be honest, you and I have touched on this before. Some of the sports books limit play, especially some of the sharp guys, and they're putting limits on those guys. So maybe some of that action ends up over there, and that helps push the number a little bit. But from my seat, I don't know how getting additional operators is really going to make much of a difference at this point.
Yeah, no, I don't. It'll be interesting to see how that, because there's very few crumbs of the pie left.
Yep,
Because
exactly.
you have the FanDuels, the DraftKings, the BetMGMs, the William Hills eating up so much of the pie that it's like what happens to the market when these new operators come in.
Yep. Well, speaking of markets, now we're going to switch to our favorite market, and that is Atlantic City. And sitting here in Hard Rock, you and I are looking at numbers that just came out a couple of days ago. May was the best month post-pandemic in Atlantic City, and I'll break that down a little bit. Why? I'll get to the number in just a second. Were you surprised at how well Atlantic City performed in May?
No, because I think you had so many people waiting to get to Atlantic City, because it's 50% capacity, limited visitation in restaurants. So, and you got to remember when it first opened, right around July 4th last year, the restaurants weren't even open. So
Right.
here the weather's warming up, everything. It's you can walk on the boardwalk. You want to come down. I mean, it's. I don't know if I had a particular number in mind, but I know you pay a lot closer attention to the numbers. So what do you see?
Yeah. So $213 million in land-based casino revenue in May. By far the best month since the casinos reopened last July. And actually, it's a number that, while it's not quite pre-pandemic performance, there's a lot of positive indicators in there. One of those is the fact that the property we're sitting at right now, Hard Rock, and its boardwalk neighbor, Ocean Casino, considerably increased their land-based revenue from where they were in May of 2019 to now. Hard Rock was up about 25%, and Ocean was up about 51% from their May 2019 performance. The other 7 properties didn't quite match that, but nonetheless, they still performed very, very well. I mean, we still have Borgata doing Borgata numbers, $48.5 million in May. Caesars had a really strong month with $22.5 million. Tropicana starting to regain a little bit of its lost glory, if you will, just a smidge under $20 million. So the larger properties here in Atlantic City are performing exactly how we expected them to.
Right.
The really encouraging sign is those insider baseball metrics, if you will, that I know the casinos look at, and that's the coin in at the slot machines and the table drop. Again, both of those are up this month compared to where they were, obviously, a year ago, but they're way up from where they were in 2019, particularly here at Hard Rock and again at Ocean, which just speaks to introducing new brands into the market,
Right.
and people get excited about those things. So maybe that contradicts a little bit what I was talking about with the sports books. But I think just looking at these numbers, all indications are that Atlantic City is going to have a good summer.
Right. So I know you like to use the pizza in the oven references in some of your posts. I feel like it's summer season. The hot dogs and hamburgers are on the grill. We're just heating up for the prime season, which comes right around 4th of July, which is a little over a week away when this airs. So it's, I guess we're cooking up for
There you go.
prime season.
And listen, you and I are sitting here right now. We have a beautiful view of the Atlantic City Boardwalk. The entire time we've been sitting here, just people walking by, all sorts of people. They're here. There is nothing stopping them anymore, right?
Right.
We're not looking at the hiccups in the road and why people aren't coming. They're here. They're having a good time. They're spending money. It looks like Atlantic City in the summer when I'm looking out the window, right?
And this is just a warm-up act.
All right, guys. So stay tuned. We're going to jump into our 2 interviews with our Hard Rock executives. Thanks so much for joining us here on Atlantic City Boardwalk Talk.
It was obviously a very challenging time for all of us. In the entertainment space, I mean, it was uniquely challenging because it went from super busy to absolutely nothing overnight. And the first challenge really was managing the schedule and pushing all these shows that we had a huge lineup set up for the summer last year. All this stuff had to move into the, kicking it down the road constantly. So managing the schedule was the first piece to really deal with. And then it was the whole idea of the workforce. And we really wanted to focus on ways to get people back to work. So Hard Rock was great in their position on trying to get entertainment booked right away to make sure we get our employees back to work as soon as possible. And that is the Hard Rock brand, is really the energy behind Hard Rock is all about the live entertainment. So it was a priority for this property to make sure that we were the first to bring back live entertainment. So back in November, we were able to launch our Motor City Live. It was a holiday show. So we were very happy to be able to bring something back to create some normalcy for all of our customers and for our employees. And we brought back several hundred employees with the idea that we had to now do these shows. And it was really important that from there we didn't stop. So that show continued on from November. And one of the things that was really challenging was it's more difficult to have a show with 150 person capacity per the governor's orders than it is to do a 7,000 person arena show. The safe and sound protocols were just so much to deal with, and so many different departments came together to schedule appropriate spacing, appropriate mask wearing, sanitation stations. Everything had to be very thoughtful. So although we're only doing shows for 150 people, we got a lot of great feedback for the fact that we were providing that normalcy that people were used to at Hard Rock. Yeah, so it was interesting because we were going through all these different restrictions based on spacing in the governor's orders, and instantly overnight, full capacity in the arena where we can do 7,000 people. So we've been talking to agents for quite some time to get some of these bigger shows. And as soon as we were able to, we came out and announced several dozen shows in our arena and our Sound Waves Theater. So coming up next week is Darius Rucker in the arena, which is going to be a great way to celebrate our 3rd year anniversary at Hard Rock Atlantic City. And then after that, our summer is packed from July 23rd to the next show with Dierks Bentley. And then we have something for everyone going into the end of the summer. Guns N' Roses is going to be one of the biggest shows ever in September 11th and 12th. Our focus is to make sure that we've got high caliber entertainment and something for everyone. So we've got a variety of shows, whether it's Pitbull, Earth, Wind & Fire, Joan Jett, and the Blackhearts. We've got something for every single taste for music. And to your point, it's part of the Hard Rock brand. It's in our DNA. We want to entertain people, and we've got the biggest venue in Atlantic City for a casino property, and we want to make sure that we're using that as frequently as possible. The property's done a great job at sourcing the best entertainment in the region. So being in Atlantic City, we need these big shows to drive people from bigger markets like Philadelphia and New York, which we're also competing with in terms of entertainment programming. So when we're dealing with a Wells Fargo or a MetLife Stadium, those are some of the folks that we want to get down here in Atlantic City. And it truly is. It's a way to get the city to have tons of volume. We get it in the summer, but in the shoulder season, we're not seeing the same amount of business as we see as other markets that are more 365 a year like Las Vegas. So it's important for us to program well and get the biggest splashes entertainment we can find. It's hard to not get excited about Guns N' Roses. I mean, it is going to be one of the biggest shows to ever play Atlantic City in the history of Atlantic City. So we're really excited about that one. It's going to be a monster show, great time. I wish I could watch it as a fan. I will be here working, of course.
Thanks so much for your time today, Mike.
Thank you.
Things look pretty good. We've seen really nice volumes. We've taken that approach much slower than I think most of our competition here in our casino. We have quite a bit of plexiglass still up. We've seen quite a few of our employees and quite a few of our guests still wearing masks. So, our safe and sound protocol was a real differentiator, in my opinion, how we fared versus the rest of the AC market. And we saw a lot of customers that really appreciated the cleanliness and the approach. So I just didn't want to disband that. We have some competitors who just took everything off the floor, and we're taking a really phased approach. As people get vaccinated more, I think, again, it's important to take that phased approach as COVID's not over, right? COVID is still happening. So we want to be careful about that. But with the weather opening up and it getting warmer and our decks open outside, I think there'll be more application for people to feel safer in doing so. But in the meantime, we have a few aspects of our safe and sound protocols that we're still keeping very prominent, and because we feel some of our customer base really appreciates it. Yeah, we have been. I think we have been since probably a couple months ago. We saw our weekends really picking up, And you're asking me this at a time when we also see just increases in business, period, right? So we're seeing both of that concept that kind of work together. Our volume is seeing nice increases as we've seen in May and in April especially. So we're happy with the pickup. I think the city, though, being down in land-based revenue consistently, even this last month, there's some, I think, misconceptions and some poor comments being put out about casino revenue up. That's including online. It's including companies that aren't here in Atlantic City. But the land-based revenue was still down versus 2019. Obviously, you can't measure versus 2020. So things are not back to normal. It'll be busier. I'm not sure that the caliber of customer is back in like it was in 2019, but we're getting there and we're seeing improvements. Yeah, we're really excited about 2021. Not only for all the right reasons about COVID and vaccinations and things like that, but our volume has been strong, and we're really proud of it. We're actually saw bigger increases off of a bigger base than Ocean. I think we're seeing some nice increases there. But moving forward, we have Hard Rock Air, which just was launched, and that picks up in July. We just opened a Starbucks. We have 90 suites that are going to be done in the next couple of weeks. We have a new restaurant that we're going to be unveiling in the next week. And we have a couple other slot, I don't want to give it all away, I can't, but we have another couple other slot promotions and I think really nice phased in approaches for our slot customers especially that'll benefit them probably coming out of summer and into the fall. And then we have conventions coming back. Our convention team really did a great job with moving a lot of the conventions that were not permitted to be here during the COVID protocols and occupancy limits. And so our fall is going to look really good going into 2022. And I know you probably spoke with Mike Woodside, who's booking the entertainment. We have KISS, and we have Darius Rucker, and we have Guns N' Roses, and we have a big entertainment splash coming. So we're actually really encouraged that the 2021 will increase even better. We have a new private jet that we're bringing in some high-end play. So for us to be number one in the market in table game drop when Borgata had that title for 15 years or so, we're really happy about that. And again, that suite product will help that out. So I'm very confident in the team and the job that we're doing and the numbers that we're showing. Unfortunately, the other 7 properties have collectively been down for 3 years, right? And that's really the other big story that we just need to ensure with legislation being floated around, pilot being floated around. We just can't get this mixed message that the casino revenue is up. Again, the other 7 properties have been done for 3 years. It's only because of Hard Rock and Ocean opening up with hundreds of $millions in investment that have pushed and enabled us to do well. And so that's where I struggle, because I want all of Atlantic City to do better. It'd be much easier for us to do better if the numbers were increasing for everybody. And they're not yet. So I don't want to get too overconfident, and I don't want others to get overconfident in really what's going on in Atlantic City. We need to work hard, increase safe and sound, not only here on property, but for the whole city, do things to help Pacific Avenue and things like that. So when people come to town, there's a better perception about Atlantic City. We do. We're excited. We weren't able to celebrate our anniversary last year. We were closed. I got to give a lot of credit to Jim Allen and the Seminole Tribe. They really worked hard to change this from the Taj to Hard Rock in such a fast time frame. A lot of hard work was done to open on June 28th of 2018. And that was a busy summer. I wasn't here actually, but a lot of work was done to change this into a Hard Rock. And I think people really appreciate it and can't believe this was the old Taj, especially the way it was run down when we purchased it. So a lot of great changes to the product, the memo, the entertainment, the Hard Rock Live at Edis Arena, and we've developed our team here. I can't be happier and more pleased with the team that we have here. We've done a lot, even during COVID. We implemented changes to put in a store and things like that. So I think with our food programming, with our slot marketing, from a table marketing standpoint as well, being number one on the market there, I just can't be more pleased. And this year we have Darius Rucker here on Saturday next week, our weekend of our anniversary. We have North Beach kicking off fireworks on Friday. Darius Rucker here Saturday. You might see a little splash on the boardwalk that no, we haven't told anybody about on that Saturday. Monday is our actual anniversary, and we have 10 times, 20 times, and 30 times slot promotions on that Monday. So we're looking for a big week as that kicks into July 4th weekend. We're really proud of what we've done. I can't be more thankful to the team here. Our team members, our employees have just really stepped up. We're really trying to push hard. Labor is my biggest issue, and we hope people are looking for jobs this summer, not only here at Hard Rock, but I think for all the properties. I think it's going to be a busy summer, but we need employees to be able to push that. So we're working hard to recruit employees. If you're listening to this, we probably have jobs for you. So come out. It's a great property. Thankful to Jim and our owners to give back ShopRite gift cards and bonuses and things like that here at Hard Rock. And we're looking for a great 2021.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time today, Joe.
Thank you.